Some of us didn't move on. We outsourced our panic. Some of us weren't replaced. We were detoxed from, like a substance. And some of us are calling it chemistry when it's actually withdrawal with emojis. Girl, I've been thinking. Monkey bearing, it's not love. It's not healing. It's not when you know, you know. When you know, you know. It's more like I cannot be alone with myself for 5 business days, so I will attach to the nearest warm body and call it fate. And today, I'm not here to drag anyone. Okay, I am here to drag the pattern, and I'm here to roast the behavior, like respectfully, with some seasoning on the side, or like facts, but without moral superiority. Because this episode is for the person who got monkey beared and is still confused about the timeline, or the person who monkey beared and swears it just happened, or for the person who becomes the next bar and later realizes that they were emotional anesthesia. If you've ever gone from heartbreak to I think I'm in love in about 2 weeks, baby, that's not love. That's your nervous system screaming, okay? Let's talk. Quick definition, because I refuse to have us arguing in the comments like that's not monkey bearing, or if you don't know what monkey bearing is. Well, monkey bearing is when someone can't tolerate emotional gap between relationships. So they don't let themselves breathe. And then they or we grab the next connection to avoid hitting the ground. And yes, sometimes it starts inside the relationship. But most of the time it starts after the breakup when the silence kind of hits. This episode, it's mostly about the post-breakup version, like the panic swing. And before we get into my story, I want to say this clearly. I'm not here to shame anyone. Shame doesn't change people, it just makes them hide better. So we're here to name what happens, laugh when we can, cry where we must, and live with self-respect intact. Okay, now let's get into why this topic is so psychologically violent, because it absolutely damn is. You know, a normal breakup hurts like, wow, I lost a person. And monkey bearing hurts like, whoa, I lost my place. Because your brain doesn't just register loss, it registers replacement. And replacement doesn't just make you sad, it makes you question your value, your reality, or sometimes even your memory. You start replaying moments like a detective who hasn't slept at all. Like, when did it start? Was I loved in the end? Was I already alone while still together? Or was I the only one taking it seriously? And the worst part is monkey bearing almost never comes with clean closure. It comes with vague language. It feels like, oh, I'm just confused, or I need space. I'm not ready. I need to focus on myself. Then 2 weeks later, they're very ready to focus on someone else's lips. Or you, or me. I was there too. I'm not a saint. So your nervous system doesn't get an ending, it gets an overlap. An overlap creates obsession, girlies, because the human brain hates unfinished stories. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story now. This story, I like to call it the 2019 Facebook baptism. So, this was around 2019. I had just ended or survived a 7-year long relationship. No, just ended, I'm kidding. 7 years, okay? Not we were talking, or not we had a cute summer. 7 years. Fiancé energy, family energy, life plan energy. The kind of relationship where people don't just know your favorite color, you know, they know your trauma patterns. And the breakup had already been like a lot. It wasn't clean, it wasn't light, it wasn't like we grew apart kind of energy, no. And then, about 2 months after the breakup, I opened the Facebook app. And listen, I don't want to pretend I opened the Facebook app innocently like, oh, let me check the news. No. No, 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 no. I open it in a way we all open it after heartbreak, with the secret hope of pain. Like how can I put this into words? Like a raccoon looking for trash. I was like, let me just see something. And then I see it. A picture. Him and a girl and a baby. And not just holding a baby because they visited someone. No, they had baptized the child. And for the non-Romanians in the room, because I'm pretty sure there's none, botez is like not just a casual thing. It's a religious ceremony. It's like commitment, family, a whole event type of energy. And the part that made my soul leave my body, it was a child we were supposed to baptize together. I had even chosen the name before we broke up for that child. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there, I'm scrolling, and I see my future recast. like they replaced the actor and kept the script. Same ceremony, like same role I was supposed to play, but a different girl. And I remember staring at the screen and feeling like my heart did that cartoon thing. You know, when it jumps out of the chest and runs away. Like, I know, like a Tom and Jerry type of moment when you wake up in heaven and you're like, oh. My body went hot and it went cold. Like, I felt rage. I remember that I felt pure rage. Not that feeling that I'm sad, like, just rage. Because my brain cannot comprehend how can something that big be that insignificant to someone. How can you take something sacred and treat it like an outfit change? And here's the part I'm going to say carefully, because I'm not here to shame him. He's probably listening to this, I don't know. I generally think some people aren't cruel. They're terrified. They can't be alone. So they trick their own mind into believing that the person who appears 2 weeks after devastation, it's like the one, okay? Because if they admit it was just panic, then they have to feel the pain. And they refuse. Like, some people refuse to feel that pain, and they do something insane instead, like baptize a child 2 months after a 7-year relationship ends. I'm sorry, I know this is heavy, but also it's kind of like criminally unhinged. 2 months? 2 months is not even enough time to recover from a bad haircut, okay? 2 months is not even enough time to heal from IKEA furniture instructions. 2 months is not even enough time to emotionally process a parking ticket or a fee. But you process the whole fiancé relationship and said, anyway, new wife update? I can't. I simply can't. And here's the plot twist. That relationship lasted, 4 or 5 months. And I'm not saying that with joy. Maybe I'm joking. Or not. Anyways, I'm saying it because it shows what monkey bearing really is. It's not stability, it's sedation. It's not intimacy, it's anesthesia. It kind of acts like a painkiller shaped into a person. And the fun fact is, she still stalks my profile to this day, which honestly, I get it. Because if you started your relationship as someone's emotional morphine, you are going to keep checking the previous prescription, you know? Also, we all stalk. Like, I'm not trying to act holy, I'm not judging. Please don't act holy either. If you've never stalked, you're lying, or you're like some type of robot, because I stalk. So, yes, that moment, that Facebook scroll was like the universe grabbing me by my face and going, see, this is what fear looks like when it wears a suit. And you know why that moment hit so hard? That moment was such a nervous system explosion. It wasn't just he's with someone. It was he reassigned my role. And when someone does that, your brain interprets it as I was never special, I was always replaceable, or maybe my place was conditional. And that's not a heartbreak wound, that's an identity wound, and it can affect you much more than a heartbreak wound. But you can heal over heartbreak. You can just blame the other person or your mistakes. But when it hits an identity wound, But anyways, to be honest, like it didn't do nothing like that to me. I think for 2 days I felt very hurt and I was making it about my identity. But then I realized that it's just his pattern. So it didn't actually like hurt it more than 2 days. But I'm using this story. It's exactly monkey bearing. Going back, that's like an identity wound, you know? Heartbreak says I lost love, but a replacement says I lost value. So your brain starts trying to solve it like it's some mathematical problem. Like, what did she have that I didn't? Or was I too much? Was I not enough? Was I loved at all? Because that's exactly what I felt in that moment, in those like two days that I was spiraling, because I was. But here's the reality that I kind of got after those few days, but it took me years to deeply understand. It often has nothing to do with you. It has to do with their relationship to emptiness. Some people kind of treat loneliness like it's something dangerous. So they don't move on. They just attach. Fast, like really fast. Loud and grand and performative. Not because they're thriving, because they're drowning and trying to look cute while they're doing it. I said what I said. I'm not sorry for it. Okay, let's talk about a post-breakup monkey bar. The one that happens after the relationship ends. There's a window that hits a lot of people around this time, day 2 to day 4. And that shock wears off. The adrenaline drops and reality walks into the room like, hey bestie, it's just you now. And in that moment, your nervous system kind of goes like, no, because attachment, it's chemical. We were used to routine, touch, attention, inside jokes, a shared future, a good morning text, or like right beside you, good morning saying, or someone simply witnessing your existence. Then suddenly, nothing. So your body experiences withdrawal, and withdrawal makes you desperate. Not desperate for the person, but desperate for relief. That's when people download apps, text an ex, or revive a relationship, accept attention that they don't actually want, or accidentally start talking to someone new, but it's not really an accident, or suddenly feel like they're ready for love again. I've been through all of these stages, to be honest. Like I said, I'm not holy. Probably that's the reason for which I can sit on this chair and record all of this episode about this. And the funniest part, it's how the brain rewires this thing. It kind of goes like, this is fate. But no, baby, like trust me, it's just cortisol. You're not meeting your soulmate after 2 weeks of a breakup. Nope. You're meeting your sedative. But, kind of because the relief is so instant, it feels so deep. It feels like so profound. It can really feel like love when you're in that state of withdrawal. That sentence right there, that's the thesis. I want you to put this sentence in your head. You're not meeting your soulmate, you're meeting your sedative. But because the relief sometimes feels so deep, instant, or profound, relief feels like love when you're just in withdrawal. Let's zoom out now. We live in a culture that worships speed, Speed in dating, speed in healing, speed in glowing up. If you're sad for too long, people kind of start acting like you're failing at emotions. Like, girl, stand up. As if healing is Amazon Prime. And social media made it so much worse. Now people don't just move on. They announce moving on. And I like to call this soft launch culture. In soft launch culture, it's basically, hey everyone, I'm okay. Look, I'm okay. Can somebody please confirm that I'm okay? And I'm not judging. I'm laughing because I've done it. I've done it. Personally, I've done it. Not the soft launch of a person, but a soft launch of a personality. This is what I've done. You know what I mean? Like, You lost him, but you gained yourself. And you're actually saying that while eating, I don't know, some junk food at 2 a.m. with dead eyes, or you're smoking a joint and having way too many drinks at 2 a.m. with your friends, and you're trying to feel good about it. But culture rewards rebranding more than it rewards integration. So people don't grieve. They kind of like curate. And then we all act super shocked that the dating feels like a haunted house. Like, why is everyone emotionally unavailable? Why is everyone so unavailable? It's because they never sat in that gap. We just swing to another adventure, yet a lesson, because we're looking for a sedative. But okay, now I want to give you a second story. I almost monkey barred back to my ex. And I'm sharing this because I want this episode to hold both sides. So here's what happened. I was right about to release my podcast for the first time. A big moment, vulnerable moment, identity moment. And if you've ever built something that actually matters to you, like a business or a creative project or a new version of yourself, you know that's right before the launch. Your nervous system kind of panics because visibility is very scary. You're putting yourself out there. And what does the nervous system do when it's scared? It reaches for the old safety, even if the old safety was not safe at all, because it wasn't. So I had this moment where I felt that pull, the urge. And it just happened that at that exact right time, this person texted me 2 months after our breakup, where things were kind of still fresh, but I was like already had done so much work for myself, and I was working in probably the biggest project that I ever had in my life, like I said, the podcast. But it caught me in that like vulnerable moment. So I had this moment where I felt that urge, maybe I should just talk to him, or maybe we could just, that maybe I overreacted, or maybe I miss him. But when I got really honest, like really fucking honest, it wasn't that I missed him. It wasn't that I missed him. I missed the feeling of being known. I missed the comfort of the familiar. I missed not having to be brave at all, because that relationship made me feel very weak. So I didn't really felt brave in that relationship until it actually ended and I said everything. And I remember catching myself and thinking, no, if I go back now, I'm not choosing love. I'm betraying my authenticity. I worked too hard to find myself again after that relationship. I swear I did. I worked too hard to rebuild my voice, and going back would have been like setting my own progress on fire just to kind of feel warm, but not even the type of warm that I needed to feel. So I didn't. Not because I'm superior. I'm not. It was more because I finally respected the part of me that fought so much to return. And that moment taught me something so important, which is that sometimes monkey bearing isn't about wanting someone. It's about not wanting to feel the fear that comes with becoming yourself. And I think this is huge. This could be like an insanely good quote for Instagram. Sometimes jumping from a relationship to another relationship really fast isn't about wanting someone. It's about not wanting to feel the fear that comes with becoming yourself. Now, girls, if you listen to this, you should definitely record yourself on this quote and post it on your Instagram. Thank you so much. And if you've monkey beared before, emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever, I'm not here to crucify you. Clearly, I did it too, So I'm here to ask you a question that might change your dating life. Can you tolerate the gap? Can you handle the empty room? Can you sit in your own presence without needing someone to mirror you back? If you can't, then every relationship becomes a coping mechanism, and you start confusing relief with love, intensity with intimacy, and attention with worth, chemistry with nervous system activation. and you'll keep swinging. You will keep swinging along. New bar, new person, new high, new promise, same fear underneath though. And it's not because you were a bad person or I was a bad person. It's because our nervous system learned that alone means danger. So your growth work isn't to find the one. It's teach your body that being alone, it's not abandonment. If you were the one who got monkey bear, here's your antidote. And I'm gonna say this plain. Stop competing with the next person. Because you're not competing with a soulmate. You're competing with a coping strategy. And you cannot win against someone else's avoidance. You'll drive yourself insane by trying. Insane. Also, I want to say this because it's real. Sometimes you were amazing and they still swung. Your amazingness doesn't cure their fear. You could be perfect and they would still do it. The problem is not your value, it's their tolerance for solitude. So if you're stalking, ask yourself gently, but like super gently, am I looking for proof that I mattered? Or am I looking for a story that makes it kind of make sense? And if it helps, it makes sense because fear makes people irrational. Fear makes people baptize babies with the wrong timeline, you know? I'm so sorry. It's so true. Fear makes people propose to strangers, okay? Fear makes people act in love. Love feels safer than being alone. And it's just as it is. You might want to be going back a little bit on this episode and listen to this part again because it's so good. Like, I feel so good saying these things. Okay, we have a practical segment now. I think this is important and I love you and I want you to be functional. If you were monkey beard and you keep checking, if you were monkey beard and you keep checking, rule. No new information lives on their profile. Only new pain. Try this. When you feel the urge to check, say out loud. Say this phrase out loud. I'm about to touch the stove again to see if it's still hot. Because it is. Try to write some scripts if they come back. And they often do. Like, they really do. You can see from my own experience. I'm not available for half love. I am not giving you access to my energy anymore. I don't do overlap. Or, if you didn't choose me with clarity, you don't get access to me in confusion. Short, clean, no debate club. You don't need to debate on this. If you are the one who tends to monkey bar, if you are the one who tends to jump from a relationship to another, before you enter anything new, ask, do I like them? Or do I like not being alone? Am I choosing them? Or am I choosing some relief? Or if they stop texting me for 24 hours, would I still want them or would I panic? That's the truth test. Girl, I've been thinking, the real flex isn't moving on fast. It's like sitting in there with yourself. It's being able to be alone without collapsing or being able to feel grief without immediately sedating it with attention. And if you were replaced fast, it doesn't mean you were unlovable. It means you dated someone who used attachment like a life raft. And if you've monkey beared before, it doesn't mean you're a villain either. It means you have work to do around emptiness, around being able to be alone and feel comfortable. And I say this with love, not with judgment. The strongest people aren't the ones who find someone new the fastest. The strongest people are the ones who can be alone long enough to become someone they actually respect. So the next time someone is trying to use you for their own comfort, you're gonna say, no, I'm not giving you access to my energy anymore. So you don't choose love out of panic. You choose love out of power and practicability. And that changes everything, believe me or not. So if this episode hit you in the chest, send it to a friend, not your ex. Unless you're chaotic. Woo-hoo. But if you do, if you do send it to your ex, don't tell me. I want peace. Anyways, I guess this concludes today's episode, and you should definitely tell me. I'm gonna see you next time, next Thursday. I love you and thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to let me know what you think about the episode on the page of the podcast or my personal account. You can find everything in the episode description. And I hope you're gonna have an amazing week, an awesome weekend. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.